Right, welcome ladies and gentlemen to another nonsense video about Alec Baldwin blaming Trump for something, I guess. Really odd. Now I don't have a dog in this fight either way. Non-political, I don't care, right? I literally couldn't care less. But this is just baffling. And this is one in a long line of situations. Now a lot of people will probably be like, well, if you don't care, why are you talking about it? Well, this pertains to specifically the Rust shooting, right? And if you don't know what that is, Alec Baldwin was the lead producer and pretty much influential in this film even going, to start shooting. And it's a film called Rust. He is a star in it, and he shot and killed on set the cinematographer. Big old investigation about it. It's all been, it's been going on and on and on and on and on. There was a recent FBI report indicated that, Alec Baldwin absolutely would have pulled the trigger, even though he's denying it, so on and so forth. So there you go, you're kind of up to speed. So that's why we're covering it. And it's just funny to laugh at people that are just insanely stupid. And Alec Baldwin has handled himself like an absolute child with respect to this entire situation. And it has been very, very childlike, very, very immature. No, I'm not to blame, it's other people, blah, blah, blah. Constant. So Alec Baldwin says he is worried about his own safety after Donald Trump's comments about Rust shooting. I didn't even know Donald Trump had made some comments about this. Again, I don't care. But Alec Baldwin told CNN that he worried about his own safety after the comments made by former President Donald Trump in the aftermath of the shooting on the set of Rust. Now, Alec Baldwin's done a series of interviews surrounding this whole situation. Each of them equally worse than the other. They just keep getting worse and worse and worse. First one was very much, oh, pity me, I'm the victim. Mate, someone's dead. You're not a victim. And then the most recent one was him doubling down on his comments where he said, I definitely didn't pull the trigger. Immediately after the FBI report came out and was like, you would have had to have pulled the trigger with this type of weapon. So it's just embarrassing at this point. But shortly after cinematographer Helena Hutchins was killed on the set of the movie, Trump pinned the blame on Baldwin. During a rehearsal, the actor aimed his gun at Hutchins when it fired. Now, Baldwin told CNN in an interview that aired on Friday, the former president of the United States said he probably shot her on purpose. To me, that was the only time I thought about that I worried about what was going to happen to me. You should be worried anyway, not in the respect that everyone's out to get you. But you should be worried for your safety when something like this has happened, because you shot someone's wife. Like, I would be worried, I'd be worried that someone's going to, maybe try and hurt me. Like, even if I'd accidentally done that, of course you would. I think that's a pretty standard reaction. But this shows the conceit of the man, that he wasn't worried at all until someone in the public eye commented on it. Because here was Trump, who instructed people to commit acts of violence, and he was pointing the finger at me and saying I was responsible for the death. I mean, that's a bit of a hypocritical statement. I mean, you can point to loads of people on the other side of the political spectrum that literally call for acts of violence all the time and incitement. I mean, it's insane. So it's a bit of a weird statement, but never mind. Pointing the finger at me and saying I was responsible for the death. I mean, you are responsible in some regard. I mean, we can't absolve you of that culpability at this point in time. One, the investigation hasn't been completed, but two, you're one in a long list, and those that know gun safety and who are very much pro-gun, etc., are very much just on the line of, well, he should have checked, therefore it's his problem. It's his fault. Now, I'm not like that. I'm not, around guns, and, although I know the gun safety, with respect to it all, to me, it's one in a long list of chain of custody that then every single one has an air of culpability. Now, he says this, 1000%, I am nervous that a bunch of people who were instructed by the former president to go to the Capitol and they killed a law enforcement officer, they killed somebody, and you don't think to myself, some of those people are going to come and kill me. He legit thought someone was going to come and kill him. I mean, that's not just random strangers. No, come on now, behave. That's such nonsense. such nonsense. Now, Trump has railed against Baldwin for his impersonation on SNL. And Baldwin has said that he pulled back the gun's hammer, but did not pull the trigger. But again, just as a well-rounded update for those that didn't believe me, last week, the FBI forensic report concluded that the gun used in the accident could not have been fired without pulling the trigger. And loads of people were like, well, the FBI do lie. Sure, they do, right? Like, I agree. There's no motive for them to lie here. There's like Baldwin is ideologically compliant with that side of the spectrum. There's no reason at all, no motive for them to lie about this. There just isn't. Now, prosecutors have not yet made a decision about any charges, but his attorney told CNN that Baldwin had no reason to think that there would be a live bullet in the gun and that it would be a huge miscarriage of justice to charge him. Now, I agree. Why on earth would you believe there was a live bullet in the gun? You just wouldn't, and especially when people were told it's a cold gun. But, of course, you know, it's that chain of custody that gets to the point of someone saying it's a cold gun, and then people still say, that are, you know, very familiar with gun laws and sort of the procedures around it, will still say that you should still check it yourself and not be reliant on someone else. And so those people will say, well, it's still down to him. And I can see where they're coming from, but I do agree with his attorney that says, yeah, I mean, why would there be a live round in it? No, I agree, but you should also double check, and I think that that's something we can probably all agree on. Now, Baldwin told CNN that he hired a private investigator after the shooting. That private investigator, as you probably know, did not have a difficult time accessing the staff of the Sheriff's Department, and that person told us, we've known in the department since January that Alec would not be charged with the crime. That's really weird. Why would you say this publicly? Baldwin told CNN publicly that he hired a private investigator. That private investigator infiltrated the Sheriff's Department. Why would you admit to this? Oh my god, what a fucking dipshit. Infiltrated the Sheriff's Department and then was informed that the Sheriff's Department is well aware that Alec's not going to be charged with the crime. Why would you say this publicly? That doesn't look good on you, Alec. Wow, man. Wow. That's insane. The absolute balls on this man to say that publicly and not care at all. That is legitimately insane. So, again, he feared for his safety because Trump spoke something. Bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. Also, ladies and gentlemen, consider checking out my Teespring store. Supporting the channel via this way does go a long way. But also, not only that, you do get to wear some awesome merch. These are one-of-a-kind designs designed for me by my graphic designer. We, of course, have our Clown World line, which is in mugs, hoodies, t-shirts. We've got Space Jeebus. And then for something a little bit different, we, of course, have right down at the bottom right here, we have our Pulsar GTIR. Also, ladies and gentlemen, consider checking out and supporting my second channel, which is Car Nonsense. This is a vlog and car channel. You can find links to this in the description box, along with my Teespring. Please do consider supporting.